received with a negative intent or even opposition to this commission. Another valuable position is for the media. Numerous times in the past when an issue is reported, public comment on the issue has been included in the article, encouraging a sense of community involvement. If the public is silenced until the following week, the perceived involvement of the public is eliminated and government control is amplified. So how about have the one comment period at the end so the public can comment on today's issues? Well, now you have an issue of timing. Some meetings last 20 minutes, others 2.5 hours, making it difficult for the public to know the exact time of the general public comment period. I've always felt the second comment period was the appropriate time to discuss an issue on that day's agenda. The first comment period is appropriate for non-related issues, public announcements, or follow-up to previous meeting agendas. I feel there is a definite benefit to the second general public comment period, and I have utilized them equally as they serve different purposes. Mayor Krantz has done a great job of enforcing the rules and has even cut me off a couple of times as I ran over. He also has successfully enforced the one topic per comment period. In conclusion, please bring back the second general public comment period and encourage the public to be part of our local decision-making process as we are all friends and neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper, and we don't usually respond to these things. I will say one thing is you were to the second on your 3 minutes. So I know you rehearsed that and how you can do that, and you've been successful in the past. Thank you very much for your comments. You can sign in if you want to.
I forgot to announce Oyster Fest this weekend.
This weekend?
Yes, the first and second,
You're
Saturday and
kidding
Sunday.
me.
No, yes,
No.
yes, right here. See, 30th is
Well,
Friday.
I don't care what
First
you
and
wrote in
second.
your book. I mean, no offense.
It's this weekend.
Gordon, is Oyster Fest this Saturday and Sunday?
It is.
Gosh, well, I'm going to that for sure. Okay.
Anyway.
So, but thanks, because
You're welcome.
I got to prepare for this. You know, I got to not eat for like 3 days. No, it's a big deal with me, man. I love food. Okay, let's see. Marilyn, would you like to speak?
Marilyn Vogler, 420 East Poplar. And just very quickly, in order to clear up confusion about Off the Walls Open House, if today is the 26th, the only way I can get to Friday is it being the 30th.
It is the 30th. Did I say the first?
No, you all were talking about it being on Saturday. So the Off the Wall Galleries Open House is Friday, September 30th.
Right.
Just to clear up
Yep.
for people who are listening and our commissioners, who I hope will be there.
Thank you. Yes,
Thank
I
you,
will be
Mary.
there on Friday.
All right, is anybody else signed up to speak?
Okay.
Nope?
No.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I know you're new at your job, but I just looking to you. Okay. Next is the consent agenda. Are we ready for reading of the consent agenda?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
The consent agenda, handwritten warrant number 12647 to Key Bank in the amount of $6,295.54. Handwritten warrant number 12648 for dyed diesel fuel tax adjustment in the amount of $26.26. That's $68.26.
All right, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as read.
I second it.
There's a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any further comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The consent agenda passes. Next item on our agenda here is old business. We have none today, but we do have an item under new business. And so it appears that our Public Works Director, Greg Clark, is going to bring that forward.
Mayor, thank you, Commissioners. We gave an overview a little bit on this last week, but today is actually the first reading of the ordinance should the Commission decide to move forward with it. This is a amending of an ordinance that the Commission approved back in February of this year, and it caused a significant change on 48 utility bills for our customers. And this wasn't foreseen, but it certainly happened, and based on input we've had, we are changing the ordinance back to the way it was so that these people can, you know, the bills that went out on some of these changed in a magnitude of around $60, and they were not given adequate notice. So this particular amendment will take it back to the way the ordinance read before and the billing rates that were in place before. And so from June, when this ordinance change was effective, we will be looking at their accounts, finding out what they would have paid under the old ordinance, and then giving them a credit on their bills so that that can be used for future billings. At some point in the future, and Ryan and I haven't exactly figured out what that timing will be, but we will be bringing back a ordinance change that will kind of level the playing field, so to speak, between all the duplexes. I think it is correct and should be the same for all that own those, but the way this went forward wasn't right. We didn't give these people adequate time to know that this type of change was happening. So we'll be working towards a transition ordinance with some probably phased in ways to bring it up so that they are the same. This, like I say, affected 48 out of the 124 accounts. Commissioner Moore, you last week had asked what is the timing that would be associated with this. Today's first reading, if it happens, it would then go to a second reading on the 3rd of October, at which point we are asking for consent to happen at that time. It would then be published in the Mason County Journal on the 6th. The way the rules are is that it has to be published and then 30 days need to go by in order for it to be active. So on the 5th of November, it would be active. I've talked to the Finance Department, and they appear to feel they can make that change happen in November. So the November billing statements would reflect the credit that is due them and their current bill for that month. And then, like I say, when Ryan and I get together on how to bring forward a new ordinance, you'll hear about that, and we'll look at that afresh. But that's really the extent of it. The packet is corrected last week on page 10. There were a couple of typos that were now changed. So this, the cross-out, strikeout version is all correct. And should you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I have a question. So when this comes out in the paper, which will be the 6th, then come November 5th, the bills will be sent out. Will there be the credit on those bills?
The bills will be sent out during the normal cycle,
Right,
which I
right.
believe happens the week of the 20th,
Yeah,
thereabouts,
okay.
of November.
Yeah.
And they should reflect the credit that would be due each of these accounts based on the difference between what it should have been under the old ordinance, so to speak, and what the current ordinance now changed. So the difference between those two is the credit they will see. Does that make sense?
Yes. Now, you're going to have people that don't read the newspaper. They don't come to the meetings. They don't read city, whatever. They're probably still wondering why they have such a huge bill. Is there going to be a personal note to each one of those people telling and explaining what has happened and why you're doing it?
We hadn't thought of doing that, but we certainly could.
I think that would just put a little personal touch to it, something they know that we're really sorry. This
Okay.
goofed up. Just in with their bill and let them know. Because there's people that probably don't even think about why their bill is higher. They just paid it.
We'll probably send an independent letter,
Yeah, an independent letter.
but
Yeah,
we
something needs to go out.
will do that.
Okay, very good.
I agree that that is a really good idea, and I think also the letter should reference the fact that the fees will go up, to bring everybody up to
Right.
speed.
Okay.
So that at that point, that can help with the notification that they do need to plan ahead for that.
Yeah.
And I personally would like to see that happen as soon as we gracefully can do so, just so that it does level the playing field and hopefully will get everyone up to the cost that they should be. But I do obviously agree that the notification wasn't sufficient. And so I think we can work with that.
Okay.
So.
And again, just in case somebody didn't catch this the last meeting, to avoid any conflict of interest, I will not vote or comment on this issue because I own a duplex inside the city limits of Shelton. And I believe politicians should not vote on or take part in things where they have a direct financial gain or loss. And so just to avoid any conflict of interest, I'm not part of this discussion. Any other questions for
Thank
Greg
you.
Clark? Well,
Good idea.
if you wanted to put it in a little hot tub and rent it out in your yard and make a bunch of money, we'd have to do the same thing with you, you know.
Why would I put a hot tub in my yard and rent it out? I would be in it all the time.
Well, probably. Any other questions for Mr. Clark on a beautiful day? Okay, I think that's good. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to our city administrator, Ryan.
One thing, Mayor and Commissioners, today obviously is Vicki Look's first day. Vicki is a certified municipal clerk who was appointed in 2002, served in that role for the city until earlier this spring. And I'm asking today that you make a motion and then hopefully pass that motion to again appoint Vicki as the city clerk for the city of Shelton.
Do we have a motion?
I make the motion that we bring her back. No, we reinstate her as city clerk.
Is this city clerk?
I second that motion.
I don't think you're going to have a lot of no's on this commission for that, so I'd be happy to say at this time, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. So congratulations, welcome back, thank you.
I like it. It's nice to be back.
Well, you were sorely missed, so there you go.
We missed you.
Lots of
Yeah,
very
there,
cool
come on, we-
changes.
There you go, we can do that. Good.
Yay.
All right, so Mr. Ryan, you're still,
One more, can we get back to, can we do the first reading on that ordinance?
oh, absolutely.
Oh, thank
We
you.
might not have did it properly. I mean, maybe we should have. done
For Greg's ordinance.
Yeah, we probably need to do a motion on that. Okay.
Or just a first reading, yeah.
Just the
First
first
reading,
reading.
Motion
you
will
need a
be
first
next
reading,
week.
okay, so,
Concur that it goes on the next.
yes, let's do it that way.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance, excuse me. Ordinance number 1886-0916, first reading. An ordinance of the City of Shelton, Washington, amending chapters 13.04, 14.08, and 15.28 of the Shelton Municipal Code and corresponding portions of ordinance number 1881-0116 relating to utility rates, connections, and charges.
All right, thank you. That concludes your,
We concur to move that over forward.
Yes.
Thanks.
yes.
That's it for administrative report.
All right, next is administration final touches.
One thing, we do need to clean up some language around the city administrator job title. So in our code, we need to switch city administrator to city manager. There's also a separate section that was discovered where the police chief it's listed as him being hired in two different fashions. So we need to make sure that it is ironed out so that the next time we hire a police chief, we know how he's going to be hired or she's going to be hired. But we will bring that forward in the next couple weeks.
All right, very good. I had a question under administration final touches, our next meeting, when I announce that in this, because is the next meeting, is that like Columbus Day or something? Or are we meeting next Monday? I was looking at my book and it said Columbus Day. or something.
October 3rd is
Yeah.
commission. That's,
Okay, what's the next October?
why did we say October 6th?
Because there's a Columbus Day on one of those. And I don't know if we take.
Columbus
it.
Day is the 10th.
Okay,
Oh.
and that's a Monday. So, do we just meet on Columbus Day normally? No, we don't.
No.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about that this
Tuesday,
meeting because
yeah.
that's 2 meetings away. Okay,
And then
this,
we that to
our next
Tuesday.
meeting will be next Monday and the evening, 6 PM in the evening, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.